I was losing the fight on the stairs. Until Pyrrha saved my life. But 3 weeks after we got off the island, a new message arrived from a new blocked number, and it proved Meridian was never the whole story. Welcome to Untold Lores. Part 4 of 4. I gave myself 10 seconds to fall apart and then I stopped. I could not afford to think about my brother yet. Darko was on the 3rd floor and we were standing on an open dock. I took the drive from Pyrrha and told her to get back to the maintenance building and stay there until I came for her. She grabbed my arm before I could go. She pressed a small folding knife into my hand and said Darko does not like witnesses. I went back inside through the fire exit. The back corridors were dark. I moved toward the central stairwell, keeping my footsteps light, the drive in my left jacket pocket, and the knife in my right hand. I did not want to use it. I am not someone who uses knives. But I am also not someone who dies quietly on an island nobody visits anymore. I reached the 2nd floor, then my phone lit up, not a call, a text. No number again. It said 3rd floor is empty, Rio. I stopped. I looked up. Then I heard a footstep behind me on the 2nd floor 6 feet back. I had walked right past him in the dark. Darko was tall, wide across the shoulders, with a calm face that was somehow worse than any expression of anger would have been. He said, very quietly, leave the drives on the floor and walk to the dock. He had said drives, plural. He knew about the drive Pyrrha had given me, which meant he knew about Pyrrha. I said his name. I said Darko. I said the names of the journalist, my cousin, my university contact. I told him the contract photos had already been sent. I watched his face. Nothing moved in it. He said those addresses will be managed. He said it the way you say a thing you have said before, and believed, and been right about before. But I had one thing he did not expect. I had spent 11 years as someone who recovers what people think is gone. I had a secondary app on my phone, an offline encrypted backup that mirrored data to a cloud the moment any signal appeared. The second my one bar had connected at the dock, everything I had photographed had already uploaded. Not to 3 email addresses, to a server. I had not sent emails. I had used the email addresses as a distraction while the real backup ran silently underneath. I had not planned this. It was just how I worked. It was just my process. I told Darko this. I told him it was already done. I watched his face again, and this time something shifted. A small tightening around his eyes, the first crack in the calm. He moved toward me. He was fast, bigger than me, faster than I expected. He got one arm around my shoulder and drove me into the wall hard enough that my glasses hit the floor and the world blurred. I kept hold of the drive. I got the fire door open with my elbow, and we went through it together and onto the stairs, and I was losing. I am not going to make it something it was not. He was going to put me down the stairwell and take both drives, and I was going to be contained. And then Pyrrha hit him from behind with a fire extinguisher. She had not gone to the maintenance building. She hit Darko twice, once across the shoulders and once across the back of the knee, and he went down hard on the landing. I did not wait to see if he got up. I grabbed Pyrrha by the wrist and we ran. We made it to the dock. I opened my phone, one bar again for 11 seconds and then nothing. 11 seconds was long enough. I sent everything, both drives, all photographs, the backup server address, to the journalist. Not as an email. As a direct message to an account I knew she checked every day. 3 days later, when a fishing vessel that had wandered near the island finally spotted us and called the Coast Guard, I learned that the journalist had already published. The Meridian story ran without my name in it, at my request. Pyrrha's name was changed to protect her. The story named shell companies, buried accounts, and the data jobs that had carried them. 12 people were arrested in the first week. I do not know what happened to Darko. He was gone by the time the Coast Guard arrived. The island was empty except for us. I think about my brother every day. I have not contacted him. I do not know if he knew what Meridian would do with my name, or if he simply handed me to them as a favor and never thought past that. I am not sure which answer is worse. My glasses were replaced, my laptop is new, I took no jobs for 2 months. But 3 weeks ago, a message came through my business account. No name, a different block number than the ones Voss had used. It said only Meridian was one branch. The drive you kept, we know you kept a copy. I had kept a copy, I always keep a copy, it is just my process. I sat looking at that message for a long time, and I did not reply, and the cursor blinked in the silence of my small apartment, and somewhere outside the city kept moving, and I kept very still. That's it for part 4. Follow Untold Lores for part 1 of our next story. Like and subscribe for daily stories.